Hello. In this video, we're going to show how to do basic sketching and editing, as well as how to select elements in Revit software. So first thing we're going to do is go into our drawing tools. You note that there isn't a drawing tool ribbon or tab up here. The draw tools come up automatically when we are in a command that needs the draw tools. So for example, let's go in and create a structural floor. I'm on the second floor right now, and so I may want to um, place a floor. All I see right now are columns and beams, and so I want something to cover this entire surface. So we'll go to structural floor. First thing I want you to note is that the drawing itself grayed out. It is still very selectable, but the columns and beams and grid lines are not the primary focus of this current command. What I'm trying to do is draw a rectangle or a sequence of lines and arcs to identify what the floor perimeter is. So all I did was go into the floor command, and I see along my tabs here that a new tab popped up, which is called Modify and Create Floor Boundary. My draw commands are immediately below. So just as with any other CAD software, we have lines and circles and arcs and polygons and rectangles and ellipses that we can draw. And what I want to draw here is a boundary line, so basically a rectangle right here. So go to the rectangle command, and I place where I want the rectangle to start, so right there at that endpoint, and I want my rectangle to go to the other corner. Before I put it on the other corner, I want you to note the color of the rectangle, which is magenta. And whenever we are in our draw command, the drawing elements will always be magenta, while all of the current elements are going to be in that grayed out color. So I hit select. I can select one of these two items here to either have it go onto the inside or the outside of that perimeter of the beams, but I'm going to have it sit right on top of those beams. As soon as I'm done with this command, I hit the green check mark. I see that it placed something there now, the floor. It's representing it in blue. I clicked off the floor, which means it deselected. I can still see hints the floor is still there. I can select this span direction, which represents the floor, or I can try to select the rectangle, and it looks like I'm getting it right here, which is on the floor itself. Something to note, though, if I put my cursor right here, I am over top of multiple elements. I'm over top of the column. I'm over top of the endpoints of a couple of beams, 3 beams. I'm over top of this grid line right here, and I'm also over top of the edge of this slab. So when I'm individually selecting something, and at times it's hard to grab the item that you want because your cursor is over multiple things, I can simply hit the tab command, the tab on the keyboard, and I see that it goes from structural column, toggles to the floor. Now it grabbed that beam, it grabbed those beams, and it went grabbed that beam, grabbed that individual beam, and then grabbed the grid line, and then comes back around, grab that grid line, and then it comes back around to that column. So as you can see, there are 6 or 7 items, and all I need to do is hit the tab button to toggle through them, and then once the one that I want to select is highlighted, I can select it with my regular left mouse button. We also can select items using a selection window. And just like other AutoCAD softwares or Autodesk softwares, if I'm selecting items from the left, from the left to the right, this is the inside selection window, so any element that is completely inside the window is going to be selected. we can see that those grid lines are not completely inside the window, so it's grabbing all the geometry but not the grid lines. And then I'm going to hit escape here to undo that selection. And I'll do the selection window again, but I will go right to left, which the selection box is now dotted, and you can see that it is grabbing not only the elements that are completely inside the selection window, but also the elements that are crossing into that selection window. And then escape one more time to deselect.